are you?
Good.
It's very cold, huh? Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize, but I'm not in control of the weather. So don't blame me. My name's Josh. Usually I play in a band, but I wrote a couple of books and I made a couple of records by myself, so I figured I would go around by myself and talk about the books, play songs from those records. So here we are. Here we are this evening. And I've only ever been to one book reading before, so I kind of stole everything that I'm doing from that one book reading that I saw. And in that spirit, I wrote a short story to read for you guys. It's actually about being in the band that I'm in, because for the last 6.5 years, 8 months at least out of every one of those years, I've been on tour, and it lends itself to a certain amount of insanity. And so I wrote a true story about what that's like, and this is it. About the third or fourth tour, Patrick's affinity for fire had become so great that he started buying economy-sized boxes of matches at every Walmart stop. While Aubrey would try to sleep in the van, Patrick would light matches and throw them over the seats at him. The rest of us would laugh while we choked on the muddy stink of Aubrey's smoldering sleeping bag. This pastime developed into a game we called Don't Get Burned, in which the participants do their best not to get burned. When tossing matches no longer entertained us, we took to lighting our leg and underarm hair on fire. When this too lost its thrill, we began lighting one another's hair on fire without consent. Of course, this was to be short-lived, but our fascination with fire was rekindled when Mike took Don't Get Burned to new heights and began lighting his shirts on fire while still wearing them. He'd start by lighting a small section at the bottom of his shirt and predictably would be engulfed in flames within moments. These bouts usually concluded with the stop, drop, and roll technique, or a group of us stamping out the remains of the blazing rags. Impressively, Mike always won, because he never got burned. The most exciting backdrop for Don't Get Burned was the place of its birth, inside the van. While passing through a McDonald's drive-thru, Mike lit his shirt on fire, and as he screamed in terror, pleading for help, the rest of us held his arms to keep him from extinguishing the flames. This, of course, is after we had grown tired of shooting one another with the Red Ryder BB gun. In our boredom, far too many sentences began with, "I'll shoot myself here if you will." The here, of course, being just about any place imaginable on the human body short of the face. When we had shot ourselves at point-blank range on our thumbnails, the palms of our hands, our chests, backs, and legs, our behinds, the webbing between our toes, our ankles, and even behind our ears, we got bored. We played cards and bet BB gun shots instead of money. We played games of Uno where the first person out got to shoot the last person in. We cracked the windshield of our van from inside with BB gun blast. All this is said, of course, to illustrate a point, the point being that madness is entirely relative and perhaps comes and goes in frequent or infrequent bouts. One moment you're just traveling, and the next you're making a plastic bottle your restroom, and soon after that you're learning it's impossible to use the restroom out of the back door of a moving van without having it all flow back onto you. The madness grows like a bubble, trapping the infected inside so that the uninfected can watch it all happen. We went on rafting trips, and while the others would paddle happily down the river, we would let the air out of our raft so that all our belongings, as well as ourselves, would sink in the icy water, leaving us to scramble for the shore and spend the rest of the day freezing and hiking back barefoot over sharp stones, laughing hysterically the entire way. We all pitch in to cram ourselves into a mall photo booth, take what is certainly an amusing photo, and then we grab it and tear it apart as soon as it drops out of the machine so that we can't enjoy it. We buy a dozen donuts to satisfy a long gestating Krispy Kreme craving, and then throw them from the moving van before anyone can have a single bite. In desperation and hunger, I spend my last bit of change to buy a Pop-Tart off of Mike. But before I can take the first bite, Ivory snatches it from my hands, crams the entire pastry into his mouth, and then opens the van window and spits the pulpy mess out onto the street. I want to be angry, but I can't stop laughing. This must be madness. Or is madness the doorway through which we enter into freedom? Freedom might not specifically entail the game of Don't Get Burned or destroying one's dinner on purpose, but such a flagrant disregard for creature comforts and our ideas of order help us to let go of that which does not matter in order to make more room for that which truly does. Certainly, embracing pain and recklessness so thoroughly, or the destruction of one's money or material possessions, isn't at all necessary, but does work to eliminate the fear of pain and poverty. Eventually, that which truly matters might be all that is left in our minds before our lives bring us to a point when all that truly matters is literally all that we have, creating a convenient segue from madness to wisdom. Yep.